start streaming November 1st. It's a whole new month. I better turn my phone up. Hey, Jax. What's happening, dog? So we're there. We're playing there. Oh, so it reconnected. I guess it buffered already. That ain't good. That I did that buffer and had trouble instantly. Everybody can hear me? Let me know that we're reconnected because it said we're reconnected. It was buffering. I'm saying, is it doing it now? Because it should have straightened out. Because it gave me an alert. It was buffering and it's all good. I take it. KJ7 said nothing. Sent me a message of nothing. There we go. I like those kind of messages. Hi, y'all, from Arthur. Then I got another buffering, then I got another howdy. Well, I'm not getting anything on buffering now. I did buffer, and it usually gives me alerts, so it should be fine now. I'm taking it. Shows me for KJ7 that message is buffering. So, must have buffered right during that moment. Anyhow, we are post-rendezvous. We are post-Halloween. We are in November. So, about time. That was a heck of a month for me, man. That was a lot to do. So, but we did get through it. Rendezvous went well. Speakers went well. Campfires went well. We had a lot of snakes in camp. There was quite a few snakes in camp. I think 3 or 4, but we had 2 down going into the speaker, the program in the amphitheater. There was 2, one on each side of the trail, the little trail that leads down into there. So we had to make sure people were aware and people had flashlights. But they sat off to the side and left us alone. We left them alone. So, and then there was another in one of the camps that just went back to his hole. So, I mean, what's the worst, you know? Well, the worst would be bad, but I'm bartending, but wanted to hop on and say hi. And that is, see, now we know something we can have you do. And as you notice, Lacey, I did not get the sign up. I'm so disappointed. It was, and I don't know if David will be in, but it was about a 1/4 inch. So I got to make changes. And then I ended up having so much to do. It just kind of delayed me, and I was like, do I have time to even do this? So there. What about the reptiles? Well, there was reptiles. It's the desert. So there was 3 snakes in camp, diamondbacks. There was one real big one. He was real thick one, and good size, probably about a 5-footer. But he was in camp, but he went back in his hole, and then the other 2 were down by the amphitheater on the walkway into it. So we had someone down there and to keep an eye and make sure they stayed off the trail, and then and they stayed off to either side and behind the buildings over there, and we left them alone. They left us alone, and that was it. So David, I did not get the sign up, and I'm not going to talk too much about it till I get it up, and then everybody can see it. But yes, I went up there and sat there, and I was like, oh, it was so close to just being like perfect, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. So that was disappointing to me, but I'm still awesome. That was totally awesome. But you know what else is awesome, everyone? And those of you who are at the rendezvous know, sunsets. It's there. I don't know. Make sure it doesn't get a glare on it. Sunsets. The DVD is there. It's on Prime. I'll repeat this all during the live. It's on Amazon Prime. If you have trouble finding it, type in Sunsets. You can type Sunsets Black Legion Films, Sunsets Trevor Tuttle, Sunsets Wayne Tuttle, and it will come up, and you can rent it or download to buy it. And we're having to go through a great deal of stuff, the physical DVDs in there, because you have to have the subtitling. So everything has to be subtitled, so that we're waiting for approval on the subtitle, so they have to review it, watch it, and make sure everything's correct and good and ready for market. So we're waiting on Amazon to tell us that Sunsets is good to go up there, and then the Blu-ray DVD will be available too. So that's all good and done. We're on the first run. Well, I don't know how many we've sold online. There's a bunch, there's a bunch of rentals and a bunch purchased, and we're getting pretty close through the first 100. So we're going to do them in hundreds, and we'll just keep selling them. And it's not going to make the top 10 movie list, but it's doing well. So it's getting out there. A lot of rentals this last week. So that's cool. I guess it counts to something. So and then Trevor will put those. I told him to wait a week or two and then put the numbers together to see how well it's doing. We've gotten nothing but good reviews. We only had one person jacked a problem, so it's kind of I'm trying to coordinate with him to see what the problem could be. So, but yeah, so there we go. Had a great time. And I made oh, that's right. You did margaritas. I don't drink margaritas. Okay. So, but thank you. That is correct. You did make margaritas. So, Bobby, yeah, you were missed. We talked about you more than once. We talked about the fact that you weren't there. So, Clint had a great time here live. Okay. Thank you, Lacey. Get back to work. Yeah, it made the trip, and it's still bubble wrapped. I bubble wrapped it. We all looked at it. We measured it out. Got ready to put it in. Read your, what was that, about a 7-8 page letter? But other things included with it. But yeah, I read that and got everything done. And like I said, I went to put it up, and it was about a 1/4 inch off from just setting up in there. And I was like, damn. And I thought, well, I'll get to it. But then the week's been pretty hectic. So today I was just constantly barraged for work, but got in here with a half hour to spare to do this. Plus we had Halloween last night, and anyone ever follows on social media, it's a big blowout here at Halloween, and we pretty much within a 36-hour period get it all together, throw it up, bang, Halloween, and then we bring it down. So the kids basically, like, if you're familiar with the film Something Wicked This Way Comes or something, film like that, it comes to town. It appears, they come home from school, all the neighbors know not to keep the kids away from my house. It's normal house, so they walk to school, they come home, and then bang, it's there when they come out at night, and then they wake up the next morning, and it's just a normal house again. So we do kind of a pretty big deal with that. And I think I put up some pictures and a video of it. Good night, too. It was very cool out, so the fog was really good. Can't wait to watch sunsets this weekend. Hello, all. Hello. Okay, the pics. Yes. Wife broke her ankle in July, so hopefully we'll make it next year. All absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Fireball margaritas. I don't know about fireball margaritas. I don't know. I'm not a margarita guy, so that's kind of the problem with that. So I'm not sure how the fireball end of it. 2-page for the sign. Yeah, it was 2 pages for the sign. It was just, but yeah, got all that. So you're well aware of that. And then, like I said, we bubble wrapped it back up and safely put it aside so that till we get everything set and ready and done. And we came up with several ideas. So that's the next project, probably this weekend. So I still got to get all the Halloween stuff packed and set away and other things to do. But yeah, like I said, October was like crazy because there was a pace, and we were up there for the powwow for the Tonto Apaches, and there was general meetings to go to, and there was work to go to, and there was highway cleanup and cleanup out at the Don's camp, and then the rendezvous, and then Halloween. And it just seemed like every 2 to 3 days I had an event or something I was running off to. And today is the live, and then I get to shoot a video for Monday chasing that I get to just kind of relax. Your yard looked good. It's always pretty cool. And we already had an idea for next year, a couple things next year. So next year will change up a little bit. We got kind of an idea of something really different. Hi, Wayne from Melbourne, Australia. that would have really nailed it, because we had a guy from South Africa. His name's Cole, I believe, and he brought his friends from Texas, Wisconsin, and the UK. Cole kind of had everybody. Australia would be a bit further, so I know you travel east from Australia probably to get here, and South Africa, I think you travel west. So I don't know. I'd have to measure that out. Be pretty close though, because either or. That's a long trip. So for that, happy Friday. Had a great time. How many people showed up? We had roughly, we think, 105 total through camp, and there was about 80 to 83. We had 2 different counts for the guest speakers. Yeah, the problem is you get in the guest speakers in the amphitheater. If you put that group in the Ramada, it just seems like overwhelming. Like, oh, there must have been 150, 200 people there. You put them in the amphitheater, and you forget the amphitheater holds over 2,000 people. So you don't seem to feel like you put much of a dent in it, because it's so massive. It's hard to believe how big that thing is. So what was it I figured out? We filled like 4 or 5% of the amphitheater. So but the bigger the crowd in there, but it's nice out there, and I think the weather was perfect for us to be out there, so that came out really good. Lacey tried feeding chips, I guess, to a tarantula, so there's that. Yeah, I don't think tarantulas eat chips. Kind of doubt that. Would have liked to seen that, but you can pick them up. Unless you agitate them or make them really upset, and they kind of release a little, it's not a toxin, but it's a stuff that'll itch you. They're generally pretty mellow. We're reconnected. So I'll pause, because we're buffering and coming back. But I don't know where we're buffering. Weather's nice. But, yeah, Frank doesn't like the amphitheater. He wants to do it in the Ramada. I find the Ramada too loud, too dusty, always too stuffy. There's all kinds of problems with the sound system and stuff. We got away with a lot in the sound system. The only problem I have with the sound system was sometimes having my phone too close to it, or you step too far forward and you feedback a little. But generally, as a rule, the sound system seemed to work. Every year's a learning experience, so we kind of got around a few things, but we kind of each year look at it, okay, what would make it better next year? And we got those things in check, and next year we go back to the amphitheater. I think everybody will enjoy it even more. We had a few ideas with the experience that we think will be kind of cool for next year. It was a great experience. Thanks, that's what I thought. It just didn't compute with me. I think he's talking about the Cayman Welch handwriting. So it was kind of a nice weekend. We missed. Bob Schuss was banged up and couldn't make it. Ron Feldman had a family commitment that kind of came up, and he couldn't make it. So neither could Jesse, because they are a family, and Josh. Jack Sanfelice has had a few bangs and bumps and bruises and health issues. So Jack stayed home, and then Thomas Glover had some health issues. So there was some people had that. They're all up in their 70s and 80s. Larry Hedrick made it out with us. Tom Van did. John Wayne Galloway made it, and then Brian Lichtman came out with us for a while, so it was great seeing Brian. I really like sitting around talking to Brian. Brian spent so much time in the mountains with Al Morrow, Chuck Ayler, Crazy Jake, and on his own, partnered with Ron Feldman. He's been involved in so many different things. He's like a walking encyclopedia about a lot of things, and he's not a big tall tale teller. He's usually pretty even-keeled about stuff and talking about, when he was back in the mountains. So it was nice. Okay, they're still talking about that. Video and sound are on and off. Nothing I can do. All I can do is tell you that it must be buffering for some reason. I can't change anything. It shows everything's good. I'm looking at everything across the board. It's telling me occasionally it buffers, and then it says it's fine. So we'll keep watching. If I try to change it, we'll drop. So I had been bringing the Wi-Fi, one of the pods in here, but it seemed to work the last couple of times without doing that. So I thought we were good. But maybe I'll make that a habit again and put in the Wi-Fi. But then it could just be the Wi-Fi's going out, because we've had a little problem with that recently. Okay, will be, well, cool, will do. Ola, Wayne, and all. That's from Dallas, right? There's Dallas, who was sitting to my left Saturday night, spending a lot of time there. It was cool hanging with you, Dallas, man. That was really good, man. That was a good talk, man. I enjoyed that. And we had our buddy in the wheelchair there, too. If he joins us, his hair's raising on end, and he thinks there's a conspiracy involved in it. But had a really good time, and like I said, Friday night, I moved around a little. I'm trying to think of who I sat next to. I know Trevor sat next to me for a while, but he was up and down and out and around. And then it was me and Dallas and Trevor, but Trevor falls asleep and snores most of the time, so we sat on the one side of the campfire. Everybody got down to the campfire, and by the time Trevor and I got there, it was pretty filled up. So, but it was all good. I hadn't got to sit around and talk to Dallas for a while, so it was kind of nice getting to sit back and just talk with him. And I could tell everybody was having a good time because everybody was immersed in deep conversation. Night one was Sal, and Sal was on the other side of the campfire from me most of the time, so everybody was getting to hear Sal's stories, and I didn't have to hear them again, so I was really happy with that. And then I got to sit up late at night till about 3 in the morning with Sal. I know Larry, me, Sal. I'm trying to think of who else. Dallas was there for a while, but Sal got really rolling. I'm trying to think of who else was with us. There was, I thought, 3 or 4 of us there getting late. But, yeah, I got kind of late. And both nights, Sal will stick it out. Sal, thinks there's a prize in it for how late he can stay up. Maybe Bobby makes him go to bed. My birthday was yesterday on Halloween. Well, happy birthday post-Halloween. There you go. Lacey and I talked to John Wayne Galloway for a while. He's great. He's a really nice guy. He's got his views and viewpoints and pretty settled on that. He was, I can't remember the guy's name. Wrote a little book, little pamphlet. He was back in there, back in LaBarge. But, God, I hate that when that happens. But anyways, yeah, he was partnered with him, and that was someone that Rick Gwynn said I needed to kind of hook up with and talk to because he lives down southern Arizona, and I hadn't reached out. Finally got a hold of him, and we reached out, and so he's come out the last couple of years and so forth. Phil Reinhardt was there, which was really nice. Phil hadn't been out for a long, long time, so it was nice to see Phil show up and hang out and talk for a while. So that was another good one. Brian Lichtman coming out with his daughter and son-in-law, but then getting Phil Reinhardt out there because, like I said, I hadn't. Last time I saw Phil was him and JW had come out to talk to me a year or two ago. But yeah, I talked to him on the phone occasionally, but I hadn't seen him for a while. It was nice for him to come out to the rendezvous. So there we are. Was there a shapeshift campfire? Maybe I should save that discussion for later. No, that was a miscue by me. I was trying to explain someone, and I was trying to explain a way to explain the person and find something relevant in a way to psychologically explain something, and I used a poor choice. There I am buffering, and then I'm back. Yes, so there was no curses to be set and made or dropped, and nothing else. Everyone slept well. Everybody was healthy. Nobody that I know of was ill afterwards. So nice and healthy, and everything went smooth as pie. Or I don't know what would be. I don't know. As smooth as pie doesn't sound right. Not sure what that would be. But anyways, everything went really well. And we got done, and everything turned out awesome and perfect. And it was great. There's Joshua. Then we have, it's the spirit of the wheelchair messing with your internal connection. Not that, but, no. Anyways, Sunsets. Oh, there it is. Sunset's available on Amazon Prime for rent and download. We have the physical copies. The physical copies will be on Amazon shortly. It's just they made us go through hoops there's a lot of things you have to do in the subtitling. And when you do all that, then they have to approve it. So they have to watch and have their group look through it and make sure everything. I didn't realize, I can't believe they do that for everybody. But yeah, they made us kind of conform to it and all. I mean, come on, we even have the barcode, okay? We even have a barcode. You have to buy the barcode. You have to buy your barcode for everything. So we have a barcode. It's a perpetual thing for this product. So we got that. And but no, the film came out, the boxing, the packaging. That is my middle son, Tyler, on the cover. Tyler is on the cover. We'll have to put out a bunch of pictures of that photo session. That was a photo session. My idea. Trevor was talking about a couple different things, someone on a horse and different things. And I said, no, let's get your brother and have him go out. And he's in the opening of the film, walking across the screen. But we went out and did a photo session with the sun going down. And it came out really, really nice. I think we caught it perfect. So there you go. Sunsets. Got a box. Got a whole box. And we're selling out of those. Those are, and like I said, they're going pretty quick. Here shortly, I'll have him set in the second order. It takes us about, I'm thinking, I'm going to say, oh, we're connected again. But Trevor did not want this to be released with that in it. So he had to pay for the initial run, which they destroyed. And then they redo the whole thing. So this batch here we had to pay twice for the first 100, and so then the next 100 will be much better. So I think, are you at Guitar Center? No, I'm not at Guitar Center. I just take everything from Guitar Center. You could sell rendezvous videos. No, we don't film at the rendezvous. One of the things many years we did is most of the guest speakers never wanted to be filmed. And I understand that. They didn't want to be filmed. They didn't want it to be that whole thing. So you could take some pictures, but they didn't want that stuff to be shared. If you come to the rendezvous, you hear the talks and everything else, but they did not want it to be. So we tried to talk to a few people because there were some really good talks by Thomas Glover. Some very detailed stuff. The man has a PhD in genetics. The guy can really talk, and he does really great research. And he didn't like it. Most of the people didn't like it. They didn't want that. And because of the lighting and different things, and definitely in the Ramada, you could never really film it proper. We'll just skip that. It's just part of one of those rendezvous things. If you're at the rendezvous, you catch it. If you're not at the rendezvous, people can tell you about it, but that's it. So, as we continue to buffer in and out, and everything smooth as pie. Smooth as silk, but not smooth as pie. I guess I made that up. Rip a tune. What? Rip a tune. No, we're not going to play a song today. See, that is rule number. That is rule for live. The moment you make a request, I don't play the song, or I don't play at all. See, it's by the grace of Wayne. So, nope. I thought about it, and then I was like, I'm tired, man. So I went at it like full bore and just kicked butt today to get in to finish everything so I didn't have to work tomorrow, and then get finished, put it in here, have a quick half a smoke, and then come in here to do this. So I will be playing later tonight, but right now I am not in the mood. Tired. Getting circles, okay? Not sure what, okay? Wayne for president. No, I don't want that job. I don't want nothing to do with that. No, that would be. Can you imagine? Because she just couldn't do anything anymore. There's people following you. I can take that part of it. Not being able to drive anymore. I don't know if anybody ever heard this. George Bush has his big ranch in Texas. One of the things he loves about it is he can drive on the dirt roads there. He's not allowed to drive anywhere else still. So he likes being there because, and Reagan was the same way. They're not allowed to drive anymore after they're president, and even afterwards. Secret Service won't let them drive. And that just sucks, man. I know. Just, there was a thing J.D. Vance, who's running for vice president, was talking about. Of you used to go and get your family and say, hey, the weather's nice, let's take a walk in the park. And he's like, Can't do that anymore. You know, it's like you got to bring 16 to a certain area, and you got to go out there, and it's. I would not want that part of it to begin with. Not even the responsibility, but I wouldn't want that. It's nice to be immersed and do things. So there you go. Time to drink to Bob Ward. Absolutely any time for Bob. 80 and 19% high clouds and sunny slope. In the slope. You're in the slope. I don't know what it's like out here. See, we're 76 and mostly cloudy. See if our humidity's any different. Here we come back. That's becoming annoying. Wonder why it intermittently is cutting out. Anyhow, no, because I wouldn't smoke, because if there was no tobacco anywhere in the world, that was all that was left, I'd run out anyway, so I wouldn't give a shit. Because I'd be like, well, why go for that last little bit, you know? It's just like, I'd be over it and decide I have to do something else. Well, Sky Cloud is from San Antonio, Texas. And he just messaged retract. I don't know why he retracted. He's disappeared both times. I don't know. I was getting ready for his introduction there, and he pulled back out. I don't know. He was like, put your foot in, put your foot out. I don't know what happened there. Circles are the internet messing up. Dad's on the southwest green at Queen Valley. He's 95 and probably out with the Garrett this minute. There you go. Salvador drew me a map in the dirt and actually understood it all. He's not an idiot. And he's been around, I don't know what the map was of, but he drives some pretty crazy stuff. There's a lot I can say about Salvador, and there's a lot I can't say about Salvador, but he is my friend, and I always look forward to seeing him. I've always, and then we're going to reconnect. That's kind of crazy. But anyways, so I sat down at the Mammoth, and there was no reason to be at the Mammoth, but I was just out that way, and I decided I'm going to stop and get a burger, so I stopped in, and I'm sitting at the table, and I'm eating my food, and some guy had come over to talk to me, recognized who I was. We're talking for a minute, and I look over to my left. Sal's there, and I'm like, how the hell did you end up here? So I don't know. Sal. My brother from another. Let's see. Favorite beef jerky brand run out. There was one left I would get. With enough Fireball, I could actually understand him. Well, that is something. Wish I was out there now. The weather is just beautiful right now. I'm half lit with Crown. 2 circles. Okay. Well, there you go. You're half lit, which means you're not fully lit. Not burning, not flaming yet. But, no, the rendezvous went really well. I was very happy. There's always things, I always think it could be better. I always think there's a lot. It's kind of and everybody has a good time, so I guess it works out well for what it is. It just keeps happening. I talked to Randy Wright. He wasn't able to make it, but he always wants to know how things go. I think he still shares in the rendezvous, even though he has nothing to do with the planning, the setup, or the organization of it. So I think let's give him credit. Half credit goes to Randy Wright for still being alive. So there you go. But no, so I talked to Randy this week, and he wanted to know how things were going and how things went. I didn't get to talk to Woody yet, so I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he's back from Washington. So there's that. And then there's the texts and stuff from other people. Hey, I found it. I ain't talking. Okay, well, that's good for you. If you found it and you ain't talking, that's the best way to do it. Just cash it in. Cash in some stuff and watch how you spend it so they can't catch up to you. Good advice, see? Because the people that don't take care and are the braggarts and stuff can always... There is no statute of limitations on stupid. And if the government wants to prosecute you or decides it just takes an interest in you, which remember that's wilderness area in the federal government. So if they take an interest and they want to take an interest in you, there is no statute of limitations to take an interest in you. Here we go. There we are. Gil Gold Prospect in San Antonio, Texas, where every day is a golden day. Okay, you hit the wrong button. Okay, see, this is the only. It's not a sponsor, it's not a promotion, it's not an ad, but it's like the one thing I got to practice with. And when you took it down, it kills me because that's like my thing. I got to hit that beat. Ward keeps saying that the Dutchman is still in radius of 5 miles from the board house. What you think? 5 miles. It could be. It could be to the north. I don't think it would be to the south. Maybe the southeast, because there's 5 miles from the board house or something like that is quite some distance in the mountains. Paul Shimmick, I'm going to just use Paul's name. Nobody really knows who Paul Shimmick is, but well, I mean that not in a bad way, but Paul once said he was surprised how small the Superstitions are. The Superstition's odd places. The crow flies 5 miles isn't a great distance. It can put you in a completely very distant place in the mountains, but walking there, you're going to spend 8 or 9 miles walking there. So it all depends, when you're looking at circumference circles and how you draw things out and walk there. People are always a bit surprised at how much further it is to walk in the mountains. But it's a lot of switchbacks and a lot of this and that and a lot of dead ends and coming back around. Let's see. Was the pro gunman on Green Cattle Company 50 years ago Kissinger and Chase? Kissinger and Chase. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So, I don't. So anyway, so the other plan is, while we're talking about this, I got to keep doing this for Trevor's benefit. Trevor is not here. He has a couple things he had to do, and then he has to broadcast a football game tonight. So Friday Night Lights. So he has a live broadcast for that. So he won't be in until about 10 p.m. tonight. But we got to keep it up for the boy. Sunsets with Tyler on the cover. Tyler helped do a lot of camera work and did help us a lot with this. So he does get a credit and a mention in there. Available on DVD, Blu-ray here soon at Amazon. We will let everybody know when it's there. I'll do another blast of stuff on internet, but for right now it's available on Amazon Prime as a download and as you can rent it or own it. So there it is. So it's there. He's trying to get some posters or some stuff to give away. Probably not go the t-shirt route. See how things go. Like I said before when we buffered, we had to pay double for this one because there was a glitch when he processed and converted over the audio, and because that happened, he couldn't live with it. It was only a matter of like 3 seconds, but Trevor couldn't live with it. I said, I don't think most people aren't even going to notice it. He said they will, and he was so worried about criticism for it. He had them destroy the first run, and Thomas Glover put out the Twice Told Tales book, and it had a big flaw in it with chapters out of order, and he just put a note card in it and sold them. But Trevor said no, and Trevor was not going to deal with that. He had those destroyed, so it cost us twice as much for the first 100 run. So we're waiting until we get most of that gone, and then he's going to get the next runs. And that we're going to try to stay away from mail order. We want to get it on Prime, Amazon Prime. He's going to work on iTunes and a couple other things, and we will see how it goes. So I expect it over time duration, because there's a lot of people in the industry I'm feeding it to help get them to spread the word. I hope it'll sell a couple thousand, maybe up to 5,000 so copies or so, and it'll do well. And I'm hoping it basically works out that he can have a supply of these. We will make it available. I already talked to the Godfather himself, the mayor of Goldfield, Bob Shoes, and it will be available in the museum. And maybe the Superstition Museum will take it, but Goldfield Museum definitely will have something set up for it. So it'll be available in other places as we move along. So first week, it just showed up at our front door and was available Friday. So we're just basically a week into release, and we're doing well. So we'll kind of have word next week how well it's doing. and the next processes. I will get back to that in a second. When I was evac'd to Fort Whipple guarding back door to autopsy, Whitman was our commander. His son and my brother had nothing. Fort Whipple. Okay, then obit Roy Whitman press kicker. I don't even anti-grab in Fort Whipple, huh? James, I really like your guitar collection. Do you have a favorite? Yeah, it's not out right now. It's probably one of the older ones I've got. They will change a little, but there's one that I just liked for years. I beat the hell out of it, and it's kind of my go-to guitar for so long, but I need to get some work done on it in the electronics, and I'm not going to switch anything out on it. I'm just going to have a little bit of repair work done to it. Internally, the wiring, I'm not going to fix what damage I've done to it on the body. That one probably is. It's very similar to my PRS, but I've had that one for over 45 years, 46 years since I had it brand new, so I've played that one into the dirt. But that's probably the one that kind of means the most to me, and that's just because I played it for so long. It's a guitar that I would could fall asleep back when I was younger playing. So, tell Trevor Sunsets is amazing. I've let him know, everyone, and I'm sure he'll be reading this for anybody's reviews and talk on this, because he was so worried about what people would think. The first reviews, Bob and Luann Schuss came in with a really nice review. Steve Bowser did. And a lot of people did. There was, like I said, the only person that had any issue with anything concerning it at all, because Brian Lickman called me and talked to me about it, was Jack Tucker. For some reason, cannot play it. So Jack's the only person that's had a problem, and it's just because it's not playing in his new DVD Blu-ray player. So I told him to take a picture of it, send it to me, and Trevor and I will try to troubleshoot and see why he's having a problem, because it's sending up an error message on it. Yeah, my lust for gold skips like a Banshee. Banshee has an S in it, and I've never seen a Banshee skip, so I'd have to see that. I'm Irish, remember, so I know what a Banshee is. Never seen a Banshee skip. Leprechaun skips. That white telly looks perfect. It's not white, it's actually cream. Yeah, it does look white on the screen, but it's actually a very yellowish cream. Well, I guess they just call that cream, but it's got that little off yellow tint to it, so it's like a cream. But yeah, it doesn't at all look like. Well, I can see it a little on the screen, but yeah, it's definitely cream there. Shows you the camera, but then again, I don't know what I'm seeing on the monitor and what you're seeing, and who knows. But it is a nice telly. Yeah, my love. Okay, that white telly looks okay. Colonel Whitman, Chief of Staff, Prescott, VA, was secretly COG Emergency Pres. Okay. All right. I don't know how we got there. Got the through Epiphone, John Lennon. There you go. Okay, that's David Murphy. And he went from Colonel Whitman, Chief of Staff, and the UFO thing to the $50 Epiphone, which is cool. The Epiphone, I know what you're talking about. Let's see. Here's Larry. I am just catching up because I am at work. Did you say something matches Cayman? I think the discussion was about the boots. It was about the handwriting on the boots matched Cayman's handwriting. Someone asked, they thought they didn't quite catch or misunderstood during the talk, and that's what that was. So that was a nice talk. It was nice to have him out. Hopefully this winter something's resolved. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if that sort of thing ever gets resolved. Sometimes it's 8-10 years, and it's tough for the families, so it really is. The boot handwriting does, someone asked. Okay, we're covering that. But no, everything went really well. I was happy with everything. I got home. I actually got everything packed away except from some dishes and pots and pans, which I still got to store away. But I'm going to go through all the action packers. Trevor convinced me that we bring way more than we need. I'm in the always be prepared that if someone needs something mode, Trevor said we need to go through what we've used the last 2-3 years and then clean it out so we're lighter and have more space. I kind of agreed, so we will be doing that, and that way we can bring more stuff, because there's a lot of stuff we could bring for displays and stuff, easels and poster board and stuff, and we talked a little about that. So next year will be a little something different and all that. So all right, so that was that. And again, like I showed, I have a whole box. Well, it's not a whole box because there's a lot missing. Half the box is half empty. So but Sunsets is out, the run is through. One of the things we talked about, Trevor and I spoke about, was I have all the music that we worked on over the, well, not we, that I worked on over the last year, and I'm going to decide how I want to release that, because you get to hear little pieces of in the film of the music, but there's actually full-length pieces. I don't remember which two we used, but they're probably somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes long. So what I'm going to do is do some sort of YouTube video, and we'll put it out there, and we'll put it on the Legend site and on YouTube. So, because I just don't know, maybe I'll do some standard CDs if people want CDs of the music, but it's such a digital streaming download world. I'm just fine with putting it out there. So those two songs and then some of the other music we'll probably release. Right now from those sessions, there's probably at least 14 to 20 pieces of music, anywhere from 4 or 5 minutes to 20 minutes. And we'll probably start releasing that over time, and do that is just so people want to, listen to the music. So that will be there. And that'll be something I think people will enjoy too. I really want to do it, and it's hard convincing Trevor, but we need to find a drone operator, a really good drone operator. But we thought about just running drone footage, kind of work with someone on some drone footage, and then put it to the music. Just take the footage and Trevor could put it to the music. And that was an idea we had. We thought that would be cool. And we don't, but who knows what we'll go with it. Maybe we'll go with little swirly acid loop trips. So that would be cool too. What's the upcoming event schedule for November? November, I know we're going to Wickenburg. We're going to the Vulture Mine and the Caballeros Museum. And then there's Thanksgiving. And there's a couple trips into the mountains. And I think that's it. I got to go shooting with Frank, too. I got to go shooting. So I got a bunch of clips. I want to go out and have some fun with Frank. So we want to shoot some stuff up. So there's some trips planned. We'll just slowly break into them on a couple of them. It's like, when you consider just the moving around up and down hills and a lot, there's a lot of steps put in through the rendezvous. Nothing like work. But then I got my normal work routine, and then, so sometimes it's like, so now the weather's nice. I want to get out and have some fun. So I think to break things open, there'll be a couple shorter hikes just for fun, to kind of breathe, and then kind of go out shooting, which you can tell by my voice. Anyone that's listening can hear the gravel in my voice. It's definitely there. And a lot of that was because of the dry, dusty air at the rendezvous from the nights, sitting around the campfire, and then all the talking. So all that combination, yes, with the smoking, pretty much trashed my voice. Monday I was hoarse. I was almost losing my voice completely. Anybody who talked to me on the phone Monday and Tuesday could hear it. I was it was like you cough, but you can't cough anything out, and it was really bad. And then it came back, but then last night I was out in the cool air all night at Halloween. So, and then out all day today working. So, it sounds more like me. Before it kind of got higher pitched, and it was getting kind of lost. So I would start talking and my voice would just disappear as I was speaking. Let's see here. Upcoming events. Trevor, no. Okay, yeah. And yes, I'm letting him know and making sure he's very aware of all the compliments. You can post them if you're on Facebook. Post them to any of the links. He's watching everything like a hawk. He's definitely following everybody to see the comments. He was so worried. And I told him, I said, the film's really good. For a 19, 20-year-old kid to start that project, him and Tom discussed it, and they put their heads together. And then once Tom passed away, Trevor looked at me and said, what do I do? And I said, make the film, man. Just keep going forward. We'll figure it out. And he did. And yeah, he did a wonderful job with that film. It was the right thing, and it was the right representation. And several people basically let me know that was the best Lost Dutchman film they've ever seen. Because if you're a Dutch hunter or into the Lost Dutchman mine, that thing actually scores it better than all the other films. So Trevor's kind of feeling proud, but he's always worried. He's always worried, like, when the other shoe's going to fall off. And it is his first big release, so it's a big deal to him. First water after the fire. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, I know we got a few trips, and like I said, there'll be just some random trips out there to get out there, on the south end, on the north end, on the east end, and the west end. There went my voice, see. There you go. And hopefully I won't lose it out. We didn't have to get violent there, boys. So, someone did message me or talked about it on YouTube about, do you know your doors mysteriously open when you're doing Chasing Legends? They'll be moving by themselves. I have dogs, so, and they like to come and go as they please, and it doesn't matter. They will open doors, so might as well keep the door cracked instead of them going through all the, messing with the door. It is freaky, though, when a dog tries to manipulate a doorknob. How hikeable is first walk after the fire? Is it good? I've heard. Okay, we got that. Thank you. I really want to get out to see. If you want company, let me know. Okay, so we're just making a date. It's a date. Okay, well. So there we go. Drink to Bob Ward, everybody. My throat's not better by next Friday. You'll see me here with a hot cup of coffee or tea, because this certainly does not help the voice, the sugar in the water. I can just tell when I drink it. So anyways, we got the music that was worked on during the process with Sunset, so we'll put that out on YouTube. And like I said, it's just about what we want as a background to it. And I keep telling Trevor, we got this money laying around. Let's take some of this money and buy a decent drone and go out and do a bunch of drone footage and put it with music videos and different stuff. We can put it with interview videos. It's just a cool, different background for that type of stuff. And then he's like, I don't know. We're not drone pilots. And I said, well, you know how people become drone pilots? They fly drones. So the bad ones don't have drones anymore. Sorry for the sidebar. Well, piss on you guys. So, there you go. No, the only problem with I don't mind the sidebar. The problem is when it's down, it starts. I can't see it, so I'm looking around and trying to find it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, crap. So, like I said, I gotta make some changes here. I'd like bigger monitors, and I can't do much bigger, which these are fine for what I do. Everything but this. So there you go. But it's been wow, we've been through. We're ready to wrap almost. See, that's the other thing with the throat. But thanks for the offer. I am oh my God, so we're doing the okay, yeah, so I keep jumping into the sidebar. All right, anyway, so one more last time around, so if nobody got it through their thick skull, Sunsets is available. That is Tyler on the cover, and we talked about that earlier. You can go back and check it, but Sunsets is available. It's got this little barcodey thing. It's all set up. It should be out in the public. We will let you know when that happens. It should be up on Amazon for the physical DVD Blu-ray here soon, as we get the last bits and pieces of that done, which was mainly them reviewing every bit of the dialogue to make sure it matches the subtitles for the hearing impaired, Frank. And so when we had, I think I don't know if we had to do a Spanish version, but there's a lot of things they made sure Trevor did to process it. It has to be shrink wrapped and all this stuff. So it's not like an ebook or a download. Those are much easier. And then he's going to concentrate on iTunes. I think he's even thinking, I don't know how Spotify would work, but he's been thinking about something on Spotify. I think it might have been the music. But there's all kinds of things moving around, and so he'll be doing with that. We'll probably continue this till the end of the year. In December, whatever the next project is, I told the boys, next project by December has to be decided, and we will start beginning our process for the next project. I've told them I don't care if it's a short film, this or that. I don't care what different things. I said, let's just get something. That was like a long project, and we learned a lot from it. So it'd be nice to get the next thing banged out. But yes, Black Legion Films is a real thing, which is a lot of pride in that. When we started that up, then a lot of things, and it's hard to believe it, but Chasing Legends is part of Black Legion Films. Legend of Superstition Mountains is with Black Legion Films. The live broadcast is through that group there, because you always think of this as just Legends, but it's all different parts, components under the Legends banner, which is Black Legion Films, which is Sunset, and some other things. So it's very cool that we managed to do that and push that stuff out there. Have a great weekend. All right. Have a great weekend. Take care of your voice. I definitely will, but I'll be out in the night air tonight for a little bit, and I'll be out in the air tomorrow. So there's supposed to be some rain coming in. I'm hoping if there's enough moisture comes in, that'll help it. But I'm just kind of doomed until I can get out of all this. So I'm going to probably try to go quiet mode the rest of the night, and then tomorrow kind of just drink some coffee and keep my throat warmed up, and then get the Chasing Legends episode done for Monday, and then once that's done, bang, I'll be back up to normal. But it's a kind of a rough voice, I can play the seasoned veteran in the bar with his voice. I can get deep with his voice. Thanks for the rendezvous, Wayne. It was great to see everyone. Rendezvous is everybody, so I'm kind of a bit of a conduit and kind of there to help connect certain things. But the rendezvous is a lot of people, man. And so the rendezvous wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Trevor and Larry and Greg and a lot of people that kick in. And so everyone always wants to kind of think, with me and Randy, we always thought it was, early on it was just me and Randy. We were literally, and I just learned that it's not so much delegation, but kind of let it breathe. Kim Johnson and Chris, big part of making things happen. Kristen making the signs and everything, and then there's a lot of people that get people to come and stuff, and everybody kicks in their own thing and stuff. So it's very, very cool. It works out very well every year. It's a sign of something in many aspects of my life. I've always said, if you get something that people enjoy and you do handle things a certain way, it will run itself. You don't need rules. You don't need too much structure. It doesn't have to be a certain way. And people don't understand that. But the rendezvous made it 20 years without any real structure to speak of. And it just, I say, and I'm sure if you've been there at the rendezvous or around me enough, you'll hear I say, the rendezvous just happens. And it happens. And that happens with a lot of other things in life. And I always tell people, if you let that happen, there's less stress. It's more enjoyable. And the rendezvous is certainly that. This year, because of a few things, the way we did things, and I got there early on Friday, I was able to enjoy it a bit, which was nice. It was a little warm for me. But for the most part, I had, it was really sweet that I had some guys help out and help throw some things up and help me with that. David, you and Clint, or not you and Clint. Well, I don't think Clint helped. David did. I don't know if David's still here. But David came over and his buddy Dave came over, and the two of them helped. And Trevor wasn't there, so they kind of took pity on the old man that I've become, and actually helped out a lot with me getting my camp set up. So that was really appreciated, guys. Probably as much as anything, because getting in and being able to sit back, and then we got the pop-ups up and everything, which was for everybody's convenience, but it was nice, and then we were able to break everything down, get home pretty quick, and everything worked out great. So
Was great seeing everyone. Have a great weekend. Be safe all week. So it came 20th and that. Yeah, that's just what I said. Um, for that weekend, but
But no, and it's thank you to everyone that attended. Never had a fight out there. Never had a problem. We've had drunk people. We've had some stupid silliness, but nothing that required any real attention. It was more amusing than anything else. When you consider that and the subject matter and some of the people that come in and the drinking that happens, when you consider all putting it all together for 20 years, you can say, oh, it's a miracle. No, it just is human nature, man. You let things unfold as they may, it will take its care of itself, and everybody will take care of it. And it has. So it's a testament to everyone that walks into that camp, whether it was your first year or your 20th year. It's a testament to everybody that comes in and works in that camp and shows up and participates. It works out really good. So it's really good for us. So let's see, neighbor incident, the regulator incident. That wasn't even an incident. It was just Sal being mad at a drunk guy. So it was a guy we can't understand from Mexico getting into a fight with a drunk guy, and no punches were thrown. It was funny. We sat there and laughed. I think I could have just jumped out of the chair and jumped through the fire, or stuck my arms out and clotheslined both of them into submission but it wasn't going to get out of hand. Because that's always, yeah, people are gonna they got a little. I think the drinking was the one guy, he couldn't take the drinking, man. But I don't think that was. Jeez, man, that's something that happens in every bar every night, probably a dozen times. So I don't think that was a problem or a big deal. So no, everyone does a great job. Everyone has a good time, and that's what it is. And so I appreciate everyone that comes out, and appreciate everyone that participates. So that is a huge deal that we've managed 20 of them. So, and I say it every year, and we manage another one, and we get through all that. So it's very, very cool. I'm looking over this book. It's a rigging book. That's interesting. It's a rigging manual for rigging. So there it is. Shows you, set up your rigging and everything else. It's kind of interesting. I didn't even know that was out. I don't know why I was looking at that or why it would be sitting here. It's probably something I've been meaning to do, or something I really thought was important that I forgot. That's what getting old does to you. Anyways, thank you, everyone. Clint, thank you for your gift. It's up over there on the shelf. I'm trying to make my way to it. It's right there. It's a 3D print of a LiDAR of the southern end of the Superstition Mountains. It's up on the shelf next to the triangle stone. And David Keith's gift will be up, hopefully, next live. And you'll see it in the future. But that was very cool. And there were some gifts of a couple other books. One of them was really, really nice. It was a DeGrazia tome, and had a lot of really cool stuff in it. So, because we all know I'm a bit of a DeGrazia nut. So that was very cool. People find sometimes, it's not always rare books. It's just different off-the-wall things. So it was very cool. I appreciate everybody coming out and everything they did. Mike left me with a bunch of cocktails. Not cocktails, but drinks. Which was very cool. Lacey said she's super excited about the dowsing rod. Yeah, I wish we would have been able to have time, so she could have, we could have shown her how they work. I'm sure she'll figure it out. It's just hold them loose and lightly in your hands and all that. The best thing to do is find where there's an electrical conduit underground. You kind of know where it is, and have her walk over it and get used to them actually interacting with things like that. A water line or electrical line, that she can kind of get the natural feel of when it's just doing it natural. Because you can mentally do it. You can mentally cause yourself to do it without realizing it. Right on, I saw that. Glad you like it. That 3D print is awesome. It is pretty cool. And I decided to put it next to the triangle and see what happens. I think the triangle moved. It looks like it moved a little. I'll have to look back at older videos. Maybe it's having a reaction. I don't know. It seems like it was sitting there differently. Now it seems like it's sitting at an angle. So maybe it's the LiDAR in it are starting a battle. I don't know. So very cool stuff. Councilman Patrick Prescott, his son Keith, did the same. Okay. And David and Keith. David and Keith were also brothers of the Carradines, and there's Bruce too. So David Carradine and Keith Carradine, and then you have the other Carradine, Robert Carradine, Robert Carradine's the one that was in Revenge of the Nerds. David Carradine hung himself in a closet. I think Keith Carradine's still alive though. He was in Fear of the Walking Dead. Bang! I slammed my knee into that. Why do you pee-poo Spanish symbols? Why do you pee-poo poo-poo Spanish symbols? What do you mean? I don't poo-poo actual Spanish symbols. So there's Spanish symbols. I don't poo-poo Spanish symbols. I poo-poo fake Spanish symbols. I poo-poo things that people think are Spanish symbols. I know there are a few of them out there, and there's some along certain trade routes and trail routes that the Spanish used, and I've seen them. And I think there's a huge problem with people just matrixing, thinking anything out there. It's just kind of like the Master Map by Charlie Boy and other things that are just basically indigenous people inscriptions, and they think they're treasure signs, and they're not treasure signs. They have nothing to do with that. I won the DeGrazia book with the yellow cover. I love it. That's a really nice book. I like that book. Yes, that book is cool with just the Superstition collection. In fact, a lot of those prints, I actually have the first run prints, and I have some of them in my living room, because I am a fan of a lot of different DeGrazia stuff. I will always say, if you're in Arizona, the Grand Canyon, the Superstition Mountains, but if you get down to northern end of Tucson and go to the DeGrazia Museum, that is a really cool place. If you're into DeGrazia at all, you'll love that. You call Spanish symbolism volcanic geology. When did I call Spanish symbolism volcanic geology? Well, I know there's geology, so there's times that things are actually geological formations and they're not Spanish symbolism. So you talk to Mama Nature about that. You don't talk to me. And I usually defer to several people, and I've always questioned and asked people about certain things. Is this natural? Is this not natural? What would you take? What do I need to look at specific things? So I just don't trivially throw things out there. I don't just poo-poo on them. I shit upon them when they're not right. But no, the rocks that say Peralta on them, they're not written by Peralta. Okay, no Peralta wrote Peralta on those rocks. Tom Collenborn was out there, and things were added over time, and he made note of specific symbols and Spanish treasure notes and things about that he said were just added out there. So it's not a poo-poo on a general subject matter. So you're taking that wrong. You're taking it as something maybe you believe in or you think is authentic, that I'm saying I doubt that that's authentic. And I'm not saying volcanic geology. I'm just saying geologically speaking, I can see that in so many other things, and it doesn't really present something. And you can beg to differ and have a difference of opinion. I mean, when you bring in the gold bars, I'll sit there and go like, damn, you were right. Man, way to go, bud. That's cool. So there you are. They're carved with Spanish names in them. You get close. You get close. Okay, you didn't mean to put the other you. All you Dutch hunters are cracked. Okay, we're all cracked. And you post the pictures with the names in them, and you have the actual geological forensic dates of when those were actually carved, because I know of at least 5 or 6 Dutch hunters that also present things and they carved things. So people carve things and then they want that. You know, the gold bars would be cool. You could just bring up the gold bars and the actual other stuff, a set of spurs, something authentic that you found. Works pretty well that way too. I mean, that's always a kind of shut everybody's mouth, right, when you do that. And if you don't, then you're just a guy talking in the room. So yes, I've found, I would say
95% of the treasure signs that I've been shown, and I could say it's higher, but I'll say 90 to 95% were either natural formation, natural stuff, or things that were put in there by other people at different time periods. And there's been some I've been shown that I was told, no, look, it's really old. You can tell it's weathered. And I've seen pictures of that area or was in that area before they were there. So that does happen. But you have to go to people that study and go and understand those types of things, and that's generally what I do. So there we go. Still alive. Taz is still alive. Hopefully he's over the COVID. He came in at the tail end. We got to get going. But I'm glad to see that he popped in and that he's healthy. I hope you're over the COVID. You and the wife are fine. We did miss you. We did miss you at the rendezvous. A number of people asked. They said you were talking about maybe coming out. And I said that would be his second appearance. You make appearance every 10 years or so, I guess. There you go. So we're going to wrap up here. It was nice seeing you, though, bud. And like I said, I really mean I hope you and the wife are doing better and recovering. I know there's been a lot going out back east with all that stuff. Now, to Degrassi Governor, Kesher's lawyer's daughter, my grandparents, a Christmas dinner present. Turned the black flying stricter way, but kept the Degrassios. Cool. Sorry. My throat's drying out bad, too. Thanks for the live. Have a great week. Yeah, everybody have a great week. Taz, great to see you. Thank you, everybody. I'm knocking out here because my throat is lost 36 pounds. Wow, I didn't lose a pound. I don't know. I slept a lot. I slept for like 6-7 days. I would just fall asleep at a drop of a hat. But me, it was just feeling tired and sleepy and just slept a lot. And I didn't eat much, but I didn't lose weight. I think I weighed the same exactly after a week that I did before I started. Go figure. All right. Well, everybody, yes, stay safe and stay free. Everybody take those words of wisdom from our friend up in Upper State New York. And everybody enjoy their weekend. Catch us in Legends on Monday. Pick up Sunsets. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. Rent for download. We'll continue to go on from there. I'm trying to find my mouse as I try to close things out. But everybody enjoy things. Next week we'll go through something. Maybe I'll break out the Kenworthy books for our Spanish treasure symbols and more discussion of it and my lack of total belief in it, which I'm not scoffing you. If presented with the proper evidence, I will always dig for things or go looking for things if there's some sort of harboring or stronger truth. If there's not really something to it, then I say we move along and look for something somewhere else. So there we go. Let's all be happy. Have a great weekend and enjoy life and breathe in the fresh air while we can. And I will catch everybody next Friday, but catch us again on Monday in Chasing Legends. Until then, everyone have a wonderful night. And I got one last one, and it's Jamie. Hope your throat gets better. It'll get better. I just need to quit talking here. Squash the thumbs up. Thank you, everybody, but we will see you again. And thank you for everybody. The rendezvous, picking up sunsets and everything else. Should have went with this hand, but this hand is supposed to be on the mouse. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Rest the voice.